Good evening, everyone. Welcome to now really the final day of the World Cup semi-final stage. It's We have one game to be played in the Catalonia USA match, which went 4-4 like we speculated yesterday. So we have a Champions game, which is going to be really exciting. Norway awaits in the final, but who is going to play the key game? I don't know. So. It's about to start. I don't think it has. No, so we have a minute or so to speculate if anyone wants to. It's Catalonia has played one already in at the end of the group stage, which wasn't super important for them. It was just for the placing. I think Albert Lorenzo played that against Bing and won with the Targ deck. Other good options they have here from the decks that have been winning a lot. So Lannister on top, he's played more games than the others. Tyrell, Assault, he plays mainly. Had a good game last night, so maybe. But Bara Free Companies is doing really well. The Targ deck's doing really well. And Lenny was impressive last night also. And Knights of Valyrian Steel I know they used last year when they had a key Champions game also, I think in the semi-finals or maybe the top 8 stage. So, and personally I really like the Greyjoy Sea of Blood deck. It's lost a few though, so I don't know if that might be their choice. And for USA they had a Champions game also already in this tournament against Greece, and they played Stark. So the Stark Filthy deck is one of their options. They have an undefeated Lenny Crossing deck, so that's another one they could be looking at. And then, I don't know, maybe I was thinking what beats some of the Catalonia's best options. And I mean, Tark Sea of Blood, super solid. It's been played by 3 different people in this tournament though. Difficult to see how many it's won, but I think it's doing pretty well. So that might be a possibility also. So I don't know. We'll know when the players join. Any speculation? And who is going to play? I mean, for Catalonia, they pretty much have confidence in all of their players. So whoever has that particular deck is just going to play it here unless there were scheduling issues, right? For USA they've shared a little bit more, but I think also there's a kind of a designated pilot for each deck. So Lenny Crossing, yeah. That would be my guess. I mean, I don't know. So the teams, the captains sent this information to the organizers, but not to me. Mauler is going to play, well, against Marquina, so it's gonna be Bara Free Companies. And what's Mauler going to play? Tyrell Race? Let's have a look. Ooh, okay. That's very interesting. I don't know how this matchup goes. I know that Bara Free Companies would have been a quite a decent choice against Stark Filthy and Lenny Crossing. But against Tyrell. And now again, I don't know this deck as well because there's several range decks in the tournament, and I keep forgetting which one plays Morgulis, which one plays the Harris. Can't look at them now, but I will join, of course, the voice channel. Sorry for forgetting again. If anyone wants to join and commentate with me, you are more than welcome to do so. So this for a place in the finals. And both players skipping their hand. Does Tyrell play Political Disaster? That would be pretty good against Bara. They can get Iron Bank, which is nice for the econ against PD, but Korean needs warships. Mahler has played 2 deciders like this in 7 Kingdoms towards the end and won them both with the Baratheon Company's deck, ironically. So he knows the deck, but this is the player who has played the deck to its biggest success. King of Swiss at Stalek. So passive power with Old Town, if it's allowed to stand. I mean, it always will stand in the standing phase, and Tyrell can always go first against this deck, against the Bara deck that's basically designed to lose initiative, so you can get it in the standing phase if there's nothing else. Has the Tapestry on, so with Randall Tarley things can go quickly with that. And on the other side we have a power icon without bestow, so slightly dangerous. We have Devon who wants to win dominance, and we have Cells. So some of the best supporting cards, but no Corain or Salvador San as yet. By the way, Salvador San is a grand lover of the Arbor on the other side, just gives him 4 gold. That might still be kneeling Old Town if there's a chance. So Old Town used immediately, but that puts power on the faction card. Yeah, what are they expecting Baratheon companies? I mean, it's a very sensible guess if they were, but Catalonia has so many really decent options that it's tough. Yeah, there he is. And he might be a handful. So if he pre-kneels Randall before he can go into a challenge, you'd need another strength boost to initially stand him. Only 1 warship, so can't really double kneel unless there's unbridled, but even then you'd have to kneel him once in marshalling. There is an action window now. Marjorie is a pretty decent target. Also have to probably be careful about reins. What else comes? The fact that she's double duped is not bad at all here. Means Morgulis is much worse. Because whatever dies just gets replaced with something of equal value. Okay, there's a limited supply of these lords, but I mean, trading Randall for Renly, not the worst thing. There is a little lord here. So Corain has not just only one warship, but actually only has one other location, because Tyrell hasn't marshaled anything, so can really only be used once, even if you can stand him and the warship. So he's gonna take out Marjorie, that makes sense. But reins can be triggered, right? Can do military because of her ability. Maybe eventually if there's a begging brother. So if they all go into the into the intrigue challenge. You might want to stand Corain to lose by 4, right? Oh, actually, the tapestry. So if everyone goes into the challenge, Reigns can't be stopped, but now it's only 9. Question is what is in the Reigns deck here that's problematic, if anything. Assume there's a wildfire, but I don't know. Ooh, Lena's informant, that can come right in and be annoying here with another intrigue. Goes for wildfire to trade guard for a big here. If it's Randall Tarly, the power gain starts. Yeah, what do you lose here? As Baratheon, Korean and Celsius work really nicely together. Now Fickle Bannerman is also quite important, but if you can't defend him now, if some Randall Tarly comes in and you have to use 3 companies on him. Yeah, prefers to keep Devon. And it's Renly. Can do another intrigue, get insight. Which is at the moment gonna be Mark, right? Who is non-loyal. Ooh, and Imri goes at random. He could have been important in this matchup also. Yeah, and military claim comes as well. Not fun. Oof, okay. Those are some good hits, and there's a loyal card here for Renly, so this is a really good start now for Tyrell. I think 3 companies will go on Celsius and then be used in standing or taxation. I mean, Corain will be used, right? Probably to get rid of Renly. 5-0 we saw. I think it was this round we watched this deck pretty quickly close, I think against Martel Aloof or something like that. So things do go quickly. There is the father for Marquina. Margulis is not really good at the moment. And yeah, losing that Rupert Also not nice, also, although he doesn't have amazing economy to start with. And no Harris in this deck. So Brand the Builder, interesting against enemies in every shadow. Low reserve, but you can try to flip out of that. Corain still standing. Now he kneels. Does he kneel Old Town? Okay, he stands, so in the draw phase you can use free companies and kneel Marjorie and Great Hall, potentially. If it's worth it. Doesn't do that. And the dupe, okay. It's pretty important. And card coming out of Shadows, Pinch presumably, does potentially provide a trigger for High Garden Courtier, because everyone gets plus strength, right? At the moment, not looking good for Bara, but let's see what they marshal. Mm-hmm. It really needs to take care of that courtier also. Or have a standing Corain after she stands something. How about a Wraith? Nothing, okay. Not the best. Now does the pinch come out? It's Old Bill Bone, it's not pinch, okay. But he doesn't provide a... Oh, he provides the... yeah, sorry. It's still in the plot. It's gonna trigger just the same. And wants to stand randomly because it's difficult to see on the Iron Throne what's... yeah. What's the target? And if he wins Intrigue for a race trigger and gets the power behind the throne, Things are going pretty fast. Then we have yeah, we need to survive that father into Morgulis or something, but there's not a lot of time, honestly. Well, surely this time you can stop it, right? It's costly, but you can stop it. Didn't use the wily smuggler here. Guess that's not the worst card to lose. And Renly draws again. Hmm. Power with both should work, right? Or is there something? This is +1 on Unix, right? Yeah. Oof, just the one. That's a misplay. Unless there's a... No, nothing you can do. Fail to trigger a Brand Builder here. Would have got Brand Builder and John's Insight. And of course won the power, now he can win dominance. I feel like that was a slightly loose round for both players. I mean, seems like it was a guaranteed reigns if you wanted it, and then Brand the Builder for sure, but missed. And now blindly trigger Sultan Brienne. The blue is on participating characters, right? Yeah, so can't stand something that's already knelt with Corain before challenges. It's not the worst control, is it? I mean, look at the charts that are left standing, but they're still kind of the same as Bara's, if not better. Bara really should have had 2 extra cards though. I think that could be really costly in the long run. Play the father into Morgulis, but also needs at least dupe for Corain or the attachment before. Is there another dupe? By the way, if Robert is in play, Renly cannot be saved. He was discarded for intrigue though. Desmera is sackable for that, huh? It's another renowned character that speeds things up. He cannot be saved though, right? I think there's only one copy in the deck. How about a sales with 2 gold? Well, Renly cannot be saved from anything basically, right? So, yeah. The father can return him with all his power, but that's assuming Robert doesn't get pinched in the meantime. No more stand for Corain that we can see. And no more warships. Feel like Reigns should be happening again though, because we know Brienne the Blue is in hand. So even Old Bill Bone can do it, but with 8 gold, I mean, either he has the worst luck or there's gonna be ambush. I think if he had bad luck, there was a Red Wine Straits, right? I think there was another one on top of this one that was discarded for reserve. Is Bara gonna pass? Robert's now also a thing. He can keep Marjorie and Renly knelt, or he can keep everything else knelt and then you use your Corain on them, but I think Mauler has the Harris, right? We split Corain and Robert. He's gonna try to do the power. Yeah, I guess everything else is kept knelt because you want Corain himself to stand, right? Yeah, it's awkward. I assume there's power behind the throne in the Reigns deck, so just attack Intrigue with enough to win, stand Renly, put him into another winning challenge. Things will go quickly, but of course, if it's really dangerous, then the father should be returning Renly with his renown and dupe, right? If he's kept knelt, then it won't be, but another Brienne the Blue, so that was drawn. One was drawn, so has 2 in hand now, I think. Fickle Abandonment will switch here, unless there's Unbridled. Might defend with everyone except Old Bill Bone. Should have enough to win on defense and still have the Reigns threat. Gets 2 renown from that. Okay, doesn't bother, it's gonna do damage on the counter, which is fair enough. Now do you take Renown on Fickle Bannerman? I would suggest you don't. It does, maybe it's automatic actually. Yeah. That's gonna be a lot of power now. Just keep it below 15 and then Randy can go maybe. Okay. If you had that, I think there was half a chance to kneel one more with Corain actually. Or maybe not. So Nightmares on Cells. Yeah. But the thing is... okay, says one card is gonna lose to the nice trigger here. The thing is that we know there's Brienne the Blue, so I mean even if you try to defend, you do force it to be played, I guess, but... So Brienne the Blue is also not loyal, right? Yeah, so won't be double drawn here for Renly. Power behind the throne. If he has Olena's Informant, it's going really quickly. And we'll take the Bannerman also, right? Come on, none of that, please. Stan Marjorie. Well, spread the renown a little bit because Renly seems like the inevitable target, right? So she is more valuable. Shall we count what's gonna happen? So assuming only one power challenge and two renowns go into it and it's opposed, that's 9 power, and if there was a second power challenge that was unopposed, that's 11, and you still Fickle Bannerman, that's 12, and unopposed military. I think it's not a threat to just close here unless there's more stuff I'm not thinking of here. I hope we don't have an issue where the game can't be completed, because it's in USA's favor at the moment, although after the father trigger and Robert trigger in the standing phase, I'm not so sure actually. It's so hopeless for Baratheon as it's looking right now. Air was after Old Town Mist, okay. So the one copy of Brienne the Blue is currently the top card. Oh, it was the top card. Renly drew it, and now it's a mystery, right? Okay. Hopefully all good. Question is also how how worried is he about Robert's ability. I had a scenario earlier where everything basically needs to do challenges here to maximize the power gain, but then everything really is net, right? I mean, for Bara also kind of, but Bara has cells. Haha, it does exist. Okay, it will take Fickle Bannerman. You can do it and keep a few standing characters also. That's a disaster, and it's gonna be now pretty close. So Garland's yeah, but you can't do Old Town again, right? Unopposed military with renown. Randy will be gone by the time you can Old Town again. John has to go, I think, now also. Played Nightmares earlier. He could have played Nightmares on Renly here, and he could be saved. Then I think you can Morgulis him technically, but that's super losing, right? Bara survives a bit further, and with the control, maybe not so bad. Renly coming back though. But you have to also steal the Fickle Bannerman back, I think. And yeah, he actually gets Old Town before it can do anything. That makes sense. Might just use Corain fully before the plot phase. Morgulis is the plot for Tyrell, not to Harris. I wasn't sure. It's pretty evenly split with Tyrell Rance in this tournament. Yeah, they're not gonna play that. I don't think either, even though it kills Robert and Corain at this point. But ooh, they are gonna do it. Okay. But yeah, okay. Marjorie brings in Randall Tarley, and you have how much gold? Enough for 1 Renly and 0 gold left. No, 1 gold left. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. Down to what, 8 power with Randall and Renly standing. So and he self stands. Now you either search for something that you close call next round, or you search for something immediately useful. Yeah, Vargo. I feel like it's not gonna happen for Bara. If John Erin won that challenge, maybe would be slightly less terrible now, because it would be what, 7-2 or 3, and maybe he would have drawn something better. Any great reason not to play Renly? If you think you're gonna be stuck on whatever power it is and not close, and then get Morgulis from the other side, but I don't know. Just go for it, I think. Orton can grab Bounty, that gives you 6 gold. It's enough for Mark and events. Or this guy and events. And now Imri could have prolonged the game a little bit. He was also hit. And Robert dub before. If Robert came in dub, that would have been really valuable here. Okay, Morgulis wouldn't be such a nice prospect. I think Tyrell can flip into something with claim. And now if you Morgulis the power away from Knight of Flowers and Randall if they don't close, then Marjorie can still bring in Renly, who is still very much alive and in hand. Oh, Intimidate doesn't help Marquina's efforts here, because he was just trying to oppose as much as he could. Not bad. think that should be it. More than enough, in fact, yeah. So USA is gonna reach the final here. Could have gone the other way on a different day. I think this matchup, I've played Smugglers against Tyrell Reigns a few times, and I had good games. I won recently, but I had a different deck. I didn't play Free Companies. I had a deck with Delena. Wasn't trying to stand in the challenges phase myself, so I feel like that's super helpful in that particular matchup. I guess she hurts the general Smuggler's effort in other ways, but yeah. The fact that Marjorie came in protected was really important. That's the one key piece you want against decks that play Morgulis, and that Bara basically didn't get much. And then in the beginning there were a few plays. I think Moller could have attacked for guaranteed drains in the beginning, which he didn't, but still kind of triggered it anyway. And I think Marquina misplayed against that tapestry. It was not super easy to see. But yeah, good choice from the USA here. Not sure if this is exactly what they were hoping to face, but either way, won this little mini game and won on the day. So it's Norway against USA in the final. So finally my predictions definitively collapse, and not sure if Hannes is around to do he's watching, so are we getting pairings immediately, Hannes? I can stick around to see what the final is like if we do. Maybe not, maybe give them some time to update the pilots and stuff like that. So yes, we can wait, okay, sure. One more week of this tournament. We have the American time zone, so that means scheduling is a bit erratic sometimes, so can't promise you that we'll have games in blocks like we had this weekend, so that it makes it easy for streaming. But since Norway is involved, we might have some streaming from them as well. We'll try to get as much covered as we can again. And we're getting a new champion this year, because previous World Cups from the recent era, I guess, post-COVID, we had 2021 was won by China, then 22 there was not a World Cup, 23 was I think another China, then 24 was France, and 25 I'm missing one, so there was another China in between, right? Missed a year somewhere. Did it start with 2020, the Battle of the Nations? Pretty sure China won it 3 times though, right? They won 2 back to back, and then the one where they beat Austria in the final was pretty dramatic. And then France in between. I thought this year maybe it was Catalonia's year, but wasn't to be. And USA really strong these days. Have some returning players who don't misplay a lot. They've selected sensible decks, I think. No really bad ones. I mean, they built the Bara Assault badly, but it's still pretty decent, to be fair. And they really messed up their Tarxi of Blood by not putting Mad King's Command in there, but okay, won a few with that deck as well, so can't be too harsh. And they're really strong at the moment, and I did ahead of the tournament, consider them as one of the favorites, certainly to reach the semi-finals potentially. And in the upcoming 8 regions tournament, I can tell you that by far the most registered players are from the USA. So looks like they are kind of the biggest nation again after a while, as far as the active player base is concerned. Okay, maybe the players themselves are not playing as much as a few people who are online all the time and play every friendly open and every event, but certainly in terms of numbers, have I think about 16 or 17 are ready for 8 regions, and still not everyone's registered, so would be interesting if they won it. Norway has to be the underdog, but in terms of performance in this tournament so far, they've been winning everything, and the team's really solid, so could be quite interesting. We have the pairings. How can I show that on screen though, is the question. Is it updated on the jousting pavilion when I do that? Let's see. Yes, okay. So let's check it from the US perspective. So they have, I will guess here a bit, I'll confirm on Discord, but so Tom is playing Lannister against Johan Thorngren, who I think should be playing Martell, so that's interesting. So another very rushy matchup into that Martell, which can either lose before it gets its thing, or it can win in a single round. Last night we saw like 3-2 Spears played and just Viper outhawk everything. And, you can't really dominate them in the intrigue challenges as much, right? With Castle Rock, where you just do them, but you attack into Insight Renown and Doran's game potentially. So that's one. Maybe let's say slight edge to the USA, considering they're still undefeated with that deck. So let's say 1-0. Then Rupert against Magnus. That should be Tyrell against Targaryen. Are we correct? We are, I think. It's Discord's not displaying everything in on one page for some reason. Yes, so burn against all the strain boosts if there's a tapestry in play. Basically all the uniques, which are the important ones, constantly have +1, and if there's a dupe Marjorie, you can't claim them that well because a new big comes in, but just doing military with Baristan and Drogon or something, you can hit at the board a little bit, and who knows, maybe there's a chance for Targaryen in that one. What are we thinking? We are thinking slight favorite the Tyrell deck, are we? So that would be 2-0 for USA. Then Derek plays Johannes. Johannes plays a couple of games. So which one is this one? Against okay, he plays the Lannister of Blood deck against Stark. This one does have Mad King's Command and does have First Snow, right? Stark has some military presence. They have Winterfell, which can be nailed because there's 2 city besieged. I've seen that matchup played in the past, and Lanny often finds a way to win that. So sorry, Norway. I'm gonna say it's 3-0, but I've given USA all the questionable ones so far, so it's not a very solid 3-0. It could be a 2-1 instead. Then fourth one, let's see. Martin against Evan. This should be Martell against Baratheon. Yeah. Baratheon with Storm's End turning intrigue challenges into other challenges where Doran's game threat is not happening. That's a huge source of power gain, and if you put traitors on the right characters, pretty decent. Black Sails also helps, although not against to the spears. But I think with Bara Assault I have almost always managed to beat any kind of Martell. So Bara should be favored there. They have the Harrison, Morgulis, and the American deck I think is the anti-reset one, right? Or is it the... No, it's not the Secret Schemes one. It's the Someone Always Tells, right? So you can try to stop the Harrison Morgulis, I guess. Also, I think you have to kind of play around Scene in Flames to keep that cancel. So let's say 3-1 here. Then we have the second half. So Andy against Leo. That's gotta be Tyrell, Bara Assault for the Americans against the Nightwatch Alliance. Haha. I don't know the Nightwatch Alliance deck well enough to know for sure what kind of answers it has, what kind of location control. I assume there's one copy of Seized. It usually is, but I don't know what else. So it has Banner Dragon, right? Which means it should have some of that card and attachment control in general. So although Viserys is loyal, Shadow of the East is loyal, so just card basically you can import, right? To get rid of the traitors. But you can use Black Cells on John, and then he's not doing challenges. So I like those odds. I think that should be in Bara's favor. So let's say 4-1. This should be Greyjoy Winter against the Free Folk deck. Yeah, he's a bastard, so he will stand if there's only Delena. It's the one that also has a power icon, which means even Storm's End isn't stopping him. But Black Cell stops him, so I don't know. I mean, with Bara, with Brand Builder, you should be getting Black Cells, so I think they should have a chance. Greyjoy Winter against the Free Folk that starts at the gates, then plays 2 claim plots. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'd like my chances with Greyjoy Winter to just stop everything, and barring helps a little bit against cheating some Magdamite into play. Last night we saw that deck get Botley Crew and Ralph on setup and then Asha. And yeah, wasn't enough against Morgulis. Free Folk doesn't play Morgulis, right? He plays Mad King's Command as the reset. Still, to be fair, is pretty nice and lets you go first, and if you pressure there, you can win that. I give a slight edge to Greyjoy, but it's not a strong one, so that would be 5-1, but I've given them so many questionable ones now that let's say it's more like 4-2 on the balance of these matchups, I think, right? So then the last two, so this is the second Johannes. What's the matchup here? So Stark Crossing for Johannes and Valyrian Steel here for Haruspex. Stark Crossing walks all over Valyrian Steel usually. You need the Valyrian Steel version with exchange to at least block Winter Festival, but that should be one for Norway on paper. I remember last year I practiced this matchup when I was paired against France, and I lost 13 in a row. So, but then we had another matchup with slightly different decks that was more winnable for Night's Watch. Managed to win one as the Night's Watch player there in like 7 attempts or something. So it is possible. but I think heavily in favor of Norway that one. So that's 4-3. And what do we end with? So Targ, Sea of Blood against Greyjoy Filthy. Well, Alex played Greyjoy Filthy against Targ Sea of Blood, I think, in this tournament and couldn't beat it. So it's not a fun matchup for Greyjoy Filthy. So I think have to call it 5-3 for USA in terms of matchups. But also that's kind of given because they have better decks on paper, and Norway's decks are generally overperforming here, so I guess they might be better than they look, so maybe even some of those matchups could be more balanced. Chris plays Star Crossing. Okay, it's not not on the list yet. I guess that will be updated. I don't really care. I mean, you can have someone really bad play it and still be favorite, honestly. I think even Johannes would have managed to be favorite in that matchup. So, yeah. Okay, that's my prediction anyway. USA favorite, but we'll see. We'll see how the games go. Wouldn't be surprised to see it go all the way. Last year we had a wonderful 4-4 final and the champions game between Bing and Gabriel Runner, so something like that would be pretty nice. Okay, it's midnight. I'm going home. So thank you all for watching, and I'll try to bring you some more thrones next week. So have a good night.